people, welcome to Prep Elevate. In today's video, we'll discuss the odd sentence questions which appeared in slot 3 for the year CAT 23. Alright, now we already have two videos where we have discussed the slot 1 and slot 2 questions for odd sentences. If you've not seen those videos, please take a look at it and then come back and watch this video for a better understanding. Alright. Okay, we have the first question on this screen. So we'll just go ahead with the process that we've been following. We'll do a random scan. We'll try and understand if I can form any links between sentences and then spot the odd sentence. All right. Okay. Although hard skills have traditionally ruled the roost. Okay, so I have found hard skills ruled the roost. What is the meaning of rule the roost? To dominate. To rule the roost is to dominate. Okay. Some companies are moving away from choosing prospective hires. Okay, companies, some hiring processes going on, skills, ideal candidate, job descriptions. This looks like an HR based question. Okay, so soft skills, practical know-how, prioritizing soft skills. Okay, good. This looks like a good question to go ahead with. Why do I say that? Words are familiar, sentences are not too long. I am looking at words which I've generally heard, right? Companies, hiring, hard skills, soft skills, job descriptions. Good question. Okay, looks like a good one. Perfect. Let's discuss. And I'll request all of you to first try the question on your own, come back and then understand what the logic is, and if you're getting it correct, very good. If you're not getting it correct, hopefully this video will be helpful. Okay, so although hard skills have traditionally ruled the roost, so they've dominated, right? We are a big fan of people who have a lot of hard skills, okay, let's say technical skills. Some companies are moving away from choosing prospective hires based on the technical abilities alone. Okay, so this is what we've been seeing, that hard skills, technical skills were really something which were valued in a candidate, but now companies are also looking at other skills. Okay, so they are not just looking at technical skills. Perfect. Statement 2, companies are shaking off the old definition. Okay, that is what looks like connected to statement 1. They are shaking off the definition of an ideal candidate, ditching the idea of looking for the singularly perfect candidate altogether. All right, 1 and 2 seems like remotely connected to me, because we are talking about taking the discussion ahead, how we are shaking off the old definition and we are not like looking at this as ideal candidate. Singularly perfect candidate is how they have explained or mentioned here. Statement 3, now, again, now. That means somewhere something has been already mentioned, some idea has been discussed, now is taking it one notch higher, okay, taking it a bit ahead. So now some job descriptions are frequently asking for candidates to demonstrate soft skills, okay, such as leadership or teamwork. Very good. So here we are getting an idea about option 1, like, or let's say statement 1 talked about how we are moving away from technical skills. What are we moving towards? Which is statement 3, we are moving towards soft skills. Okay, leadership, teamwork. That's not to say that practical know-how is no longer required. Some jobs still call for highly specific expertise. All right, so there also statement 4 is trying to mention that yes, we are trying to move towards a space where we discuss about soft skills as much as we discuss about technical skills. But obviously, you have jobs in the market that require hardcore technical skills, which statement 4 is mentioning. They call for highly specific expertise. Okay, statement 5, the move towards prioritizing soft skills is a natural response to 3 years of the pandemic, says a senior recruiter at Sendler FSB. Okay, let's call it just FSB for our convenience. Okay, remember when I first looked at it, I told you this looks like an HR kind of question, and actually statement 5 comes from a senior recruiter. Okay, these are statements that looks like it would like fit the description of an HR, job description sort. So, see, statement 5 talks about the move. So, what is the move? That we are moving towards, we are moving towards looking at candidates who have the ability to combine soft skills and technical skills per se. Okay, we are not looking at just technical skills. Okay, now if I look at these statements, what I've understood is 1, 3, 4, and 5 are somehow connected. What is the connection? 5 talks about the move. The move we've mentioned in statement 1. 3 builds on that idea that we are looking at soft skills. So if not technical skills, then what? Looking at soft skills. Then 4 wraps it up by saying that it's not to say that we are some jobs do not require technical expertise. They do. We are moving towards a combination. Now look at statement 2. Okay, what is the problem with statement 2? It's too generic a statement. Okay, too generic. 1, 3, 4, and 5 specifically discuss the skills which seem to be the highlight of discussion. And option 2 goes towards an ideal candidate and ditching the idea of looking for the singularly perfect candidate altogether. Looks like connected, obviously, when you're looking at jobs, you're looking at skills, you're looking at candidates, definitely. But the remaining 4 are comparatively stronger, okay, in terms of their bond or their connection. Statement 2 looks like a floating statement. Okay, somehow it's floating around the discussion, but yet is it's yet to become a part of the major, or let's say central theme of discussion. Okay, so option 2 is the odd one out. This is an easy question. All right, this is an easy question. If you just try and read it with a little bit of attention, you'll easily be able to come to the correct answer as far as this question is concerned. Perfect. Okay, next one. Okay, again I am just doing a rough scan. So I look at Bo Senior, I look at tsunami, I look at collapse, I look at again, okay, Bo, okay, this is there. Languages, okay, last speaker, okay, again, oh, Bo Senior again, okay. So twice probably found the same word, somehow probably some connection here. Last years of life, mother tongue, okay, some language we are talking about, right? Some language here. We have a speaker probably, and then we have languages and mother tongue. Okay, I'm not able to make head or tail of this question. All right, because it looks like it could go in a multitude of ways. It could just expand in a lot of ways, lots of branches. But then, language-wise, looks fine. I would like to give it a try, right? Bo Senior, who lived through the 2004 tsunami, the Japanese occupation and diseases brought by British settlers, was the last native of the island who was fluent in Bo. All right, who was fluent in Bo. So this probably, this Bo is language. I've seen Bo in somewhere else also. Okay, we have seen this. So Bo is the language probably. So we've given an opening statement. Let's say we are introduced to Bo Senior, and Bo Senior, he lived through the tsunami, and he was the last native of the island who was fluent in this language, Bo. Okay. Now, statement 2, indigenous population has been steadily collapsing since the island chain was colonized by British settlers in 1858 and used for most of the following 100 years as a colonial penal colony. Okay. Now, statement 2 has some words which could be connected to statement 1, but I am not sure about it. Why do I say that? I have, I've looked at British settlers here also, here also. I am looking at island chain. I have here also, I've looked at island chain. Probably there could be some connection out here, but after reading two statements, I'm not able to get that connection. Okay. Now, statement 3, taking its name from a now extinct tribe, Boo is one of the 10 great Andamanese languages which are thought to date back to the pre-Neolithic human settlement of Southeast Asia. All right, so here we are talking about the language. Okay, this is the language. So we are given a brief description, or let's say history of the language here, where we are talking about, it is one of those great 10 great languages, and it dates back to human settlement of Southeast Asia. Always remember, when you are attempting such questions where there is time constraints, or let's say exam conditions, do not try and read all of this in such great depth. Okay, you could always come back, and when you're forming connections, you could always look at those specific details. But here, just try to skim through it. Okay, Andamanese language, Neolithic, you can come back and read those specific details, right? Don't pause. Do not take those breaks unnecessarily. It will disturb the flow of reading. Try and read it, give it a good read. Don't pause after every word, right? Statement 4: last speaker of an ancient tribal language has died in the Andaman Islands. Okay, last speaker, where does this take us? Last speaker, where do you think we read this? Statement 1: last native of the island who was fluent in Bo, right? So he was fluent in Bo, and he was the last native of that island who was fluent in this language. So probably we are discussing about the last speaker, and also that's the only place where I've read a name. Okay, the name of the individual, Bo Senior, right? So probably this is definitely connected, breaking a 65,000 year link to one of the world's oldest cultures. So last speaker has died. Who was the last speaker? Bo Senior, who was fluent in Bo. Okay. Now, though the language has been closely studied by researchers of linguistic history, linguistic is anything that has to do with language. So the word is linguistic for that. Bo Senior spent the last few years of her life unable to converse with anyone in her mother tongue. Now, this speaks about the last few years of life of Bo Senior. Okay, again Bo Senior. So he was the last speaker, and but the last few years of his life is not able to converse, or let's say have a communication with anyone in her mother tongue, and because he was the last speaker, right? There's nobody around to speak to him in his or her mother tongue. So that is what statement 5 talks about. Now obviously statement 1 talks about Bo Senior, statement 4 talks about the last speaker, so definitely 1 and 4 are connected. Statement 5 talks about how he spent the last few years of his life, and statement 3 talks about Bo taking its name from a now extinct tribe. What is Bo? Who was fluent in Bo? So 3 and 1 are also connected, that we're talking a little bit about Bo. Whereas if you look at statement 2, it had a lot of those words which we read in statement 1, but it does not fit with the story, right? It does not fit with the story of having a speaker, last native speaker, the speaker died, or let's say the linguistic history, nothing of that sort. Here we are talking about something really different, where how the British settlers utilized the island, which they probably captured, they colonized the island. So statement 2 takes it to a different tangent. So remember, it's not always mandatory that if you have the same words in the statements, they have to be connected. They might be conveying a totally different story. So be a little mindful when you're attempting questions. So obviously option 2 is the odd statement here, right? Now I hope you've understood the logic. This question again, I would rate it as a moderate level question, not very difficult, but obviously not very easy, considering that you have time constraints. You may not be able to look at the nuances. So you have to practice a lot of such questions so that you get really confident about attempting such questions, right? So with this, we've come to the end of this video. We'll discuss the other past year CAT questions in the upcoming videos. So please stay tuned, and thank you so much.